We're
live. You live?
Yeah.
We're live.
All right. Hello, Patriots. Welcome to Thursday night with Jack and Dennis. Fed Up with Politics on YouTube and on our United States Constitutional Group on Facebook. Please stand for a Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Most people next week still respect our flag. So I hope you join us in that.
I need a rope.
You need some rope?
I need a rope. By the way, I wanted to ask you. Didn't hair and makeup do a good job on me today? I got a nice hair.
See, they did.
They did a nice job on my head. No,
You're saying this? You can't do a good job?
I did. I'm my own hair and makeup guy. Not too good with the makeup. But the hair, I think I did a good job today.
You did good.
I did it in the mirror.
I made a mistake on mine.
Yeah, Mike has a.
You're still bald?
Mike has a perpetual bedhead. No matter what he does, it looks the same.
So let's get right into it. You want to get involved? Send us some questions. Add to the conversation. Reach out to us on Facebook or YouTube. We're live on both right now. Call us at 843-315-5273. We'll take your questions and see if we can come to a common ground. We like to debate, but we won't hate you if you have a different opinion. So Jack, what are you going to talk about tonight?
I'm going to talk about a movie.
What movie?
I'm going to talk about Sound of Freedom.
Hope it's a good one. I didn't see that one yet.
You got to go see it.
So I don't know if anyone's seen this, but another liberal senator from New York made a dumb statement.
No way.
Yep, from New York.
Hold on a minute. Let me get my shot look.
Coming from New York congressional hacks, in an interview with MSNBC, another liberal, a liberal news agency. I bet you're surprised by that too.
I don't know if I can do another surprise.
You did good. So Chucky Schumer said that the Biden family corruption does not matter to the American people. He actually said these investigations, they don't matter to the average American people.
See, now, if I was on that TV program, I would have said, Mr. Senator, what average person have you spoken to?
Yeah, right, he'd be doing that.
Yeah.
You know?
Plus, you could also ask them, well, they're probably a little more worried about their finances, their house, the interest rate, their shopping, grocery.
Right. So the GOP, the Republicans, has dug up a lot of evidence on Forget a Lot and it's on Dope a Lot.
Woohoo! New name.
And this fool of a senator says we don't care. Like hell we don't care. We do. What rock is he under? How stupid of a statement is that? We do care. We want answers. This is the biggest issue in politics since Watergate. And Democrats are trying to hide it as we did nothing wrong. He did nothing wrong. Liberal news media, CNN, MSNBC, and all the other ones. There's probably 100 of them. The corrupt idiots and extended arm of the Democrats won't even cover it.
Ah, shucks.
That doesn't show you how arrogant these politicians are, gaslighting us. Then he was blind.
That's a great title. That should be a title.
Someone should write a book.
Yeah, we will.
Politicians gaslighting Americans probably go real good.
Yeah. So they're making the corrections right now. They messed up on some corrections for us.
Did she get back to you
Yeah.
second time? All right, good.
Soon?
Well, I'm going to send her an email tomorrow. So
Oh.
we'll see. See, I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, Independent, or even a no labels type of guy, girl, which is gaining momentum. We all care about our country. It's only a small fraction that hate us, that hate America. Antifa, BLM, Proud Boys,
KKK.
KKK,
Nancy Pelosi.
Nancy
Chuck Schumer.
Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, AOC.
And these are people that
Mitch
hate the
McConnell.
government.
What was that? Talib.
Yeah, Mitch McConnell. He needs to go too,
Well, he doesn't remember yet. He has to go.
right? But old Chucky boy, he thinks that people aren't smart enough to see the corruption. And to a point, there's some out there who really aren't. They're morons. That believe Forget a Lot and Dope a Lot did nothing wrong. Well, folks, they have. They've done something wrong. and the evidence has come out. But the Democrats are trying to hide it because they know it's big. We must let it play out and see what is found and whether or not he should be impeached. I think we come to a time in history where every president is going to be impeached by the other party.
Yep.
That's how fucking stupid these people
That's the
are.
way it's been working out.
You know?
You see that? Yeah, it's such an infuriating thing that it will make us curse without even realizing we curse.
Like I just said.
Yeah. You know, you just get so mad at the arrogance.
Lying right to your face. On TV, when they're in front of you, they're not freaking good at all. However, we have politicians that hate the country, that hate this country too.
Yep.
And they tell us, oh, there's nothing here to see. There's no corruption. Dope a lot. You know, he had a gun, but, you know, then they talk about, we need gun laws. We need people to stop getting away with gun crimes.
Yeah, he just screamed about that the other day.
But he lets his son get away with it.
Yeah.
You know?
Isn't he up for
How dumb is this
gun
people?
crimes?
Well, they tried to get rid of that one.
Yeah.
You know, the 2024 elections are coming up. Vote these clowns out of office. Let's start fresh. Get a whole new bunch of...
What do we got to lose?
Right, what do we have to lose? We can't do any worse than what these clowns are doing now.
Absolutely.
You know? Hey, if you want to run, build a team. Or find people in your area that believe in the Constitution and get them on the ballot. It doesn't take much with social media today to put out a good campaign. Make a statement. Show these tyrants we're tired of their bullshit. We don't work for them. They work for us. Again, if you want to join us, 843-315-5273, we'd like to hear your opinion. Jack, what are your thoughts on that?
First off, I want one thing. These TV channels are listening to us, and they're saying a lot of things. We're going to know for sure as soon as they start calling him President Forget a Lot.
And Son Dope a Lot.
And Son Dope a Lot. First Son Dope a Lot and President Forget a Lot. It's going to be, because they're already starting to call them the Uniparty. And we've been calling them the Uniparty for years. And we were the only ones that I heard call them a Uniparty until now. Now everybody's calling them a Uniparty. So that I wanted to say, somebody's watching our show besides the regular folks.
That new guy too, the new Republican, he's been saying a couple of things that you guys talked about.
Vivek Ramaswamy.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
I like him.
The other thing I wanted to say about what you just had related with that was Jim Jordan from Ohio, he's a representative, and Comer from Kentucky. For a while there, I've been saying that, I don't know, Comer sounds a lot like Adam Schiff. He keeps saying he's got, and nothing comes on. And now it's funny because, you know, we kind of was on the same page without talking to each other about it. But now I saw an interview with Comer, and he had said, listen, myself and Jim Jordan, the work is still going on. You don't see it. He goes, but the work, what we're doing is going to, the information we're going to get is information that will be able to go to court. This will be able to go to a trial.
That's the only way you're going to get anybody.
Yeah, but the
doing
Attorney
it.
General's not going to do anything about it.
Well, you know, again, we've been saying it, and I just heard this the other day too. They are breaking the law to enforce the law. And when I say that, they're breaking our laws. They're breaking the law of the land to enforce their new world order laws. So they're breaking the laws to enforce the laws. Everything that you see that's going on TV, that's going through these courts. I mean, I watched another show on Newsmax. It was a straight line like this. Every time Hunter Biden got in trouble, the next day or two, Trump got indicted. 4 times, bing, 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 right on top of each other. There was one that was 2 or 3 days difference, and that's because it happened on a Friday to a Monday. This is scary stuff, man. And their biggest problem in life is us, the constituents.
Oh, we're a thorn in their thigh.
That's why they have $10,000, $25,000, $15,000 dinner donations.
They don't want
So
us
we
there.
can't go.
Yeah. They need the Hollywood people.
They really do think we are stupid. And in a sense, we are, because we leave them there. And this ball of corruption,
for decades.
what we have there. I tell you the truth, Washington D.C. Here's the problem: the United States government does not wear the white cowboy hat anymore. And they've been there for so long, and we left them there so long because we were raised to say that our government is always right and it's a good government, because it was. It's the greatest government. But today, there are no great American, well, I shouldn't say that. There's a few veterans that are in there that are awesome. I'd say 99% of the people representing the United States are not great Americans. They're not. There is a small percentage in those two chambers, none in the White House, none in any of the bureaucracies.
Right.
This government is committing evils.
Yeah.
Not only here, but around the world.
Mm-hmm.
They're false gods.
Yeah.
That's what they are.
They think they're gods. Their eyes, they took a bite of the fruit.
Yeah.
It was sour.
For us.
Yeah.
Hey, listen. It's up to the American people to make a difference. There's an election coming up. So let's do it. Because what they're doing is illegal. It's against the law of the land.
We gotta think. We gotta get out of the mindset. Oh, we need to rub the Republicans in charge. Oh, we need the Democrats in charge. Because if we keep doing that, we're gonna never win. We'll never get ahead in life. This Republicans do this, they lose out. Democrats do this. Republicans go up again, shit go back and forth. Democrats, Republicans, Democrats, Republicans. We need new faces. We need people without parties. We need independents. We need constitutionalists.
That's what you need. You need constitutionalists in there. And I tell you the truth, the biggest problem with the Republican Party, if you're a Republican out there, they don't know how to lead.
No.
They just know how to react. They react. They never proact.
Everything's a talking point from the party. If you listen to one news agency, you're a Democrat, they say exactly what Democratic Party says. You listen to another Democrat, another station, he's saying the same exact thing.
Yep.
It's all a script.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know who's feeding who the lines.
And it's the exact talking point. Every single one of them. It's amazing. You go from channel to channel, it is the exact talking
Well, what
point.
they did is they're making this country tribalism. There's well, we'll get into that later. But anyway, there is the very small percentage in our United States capital are great Americans. And I would say 1%.
Yeah.
They don't care about the big money that they're making.
And it's amazing how short a period of time
They get
start
corrupted.
getting corrupted.
What I want to know is how we have 1% of our population are millionaires. How are over half our politicians? Probably about, I won't say half, probably about between 50 and 100 politicians. How are they millionaires?
I'll give you more than that.
How are they millionaires? Because we let them be millionaires.
Yeah. And I bet you there's more than, I bet you the majority is millionaires, because even if they're not doing the insider trading and stuff like that,
Oh, they're doing
those campaign contributions,
They
if
get
you've
it.
been in there long enough, you pass that 10-year mark, that's your money.
Shouldn't be your money at all.
No.
That's the government's money. That should be
That's our
paid down
money.
to pay down the damn debt. $33 trillion
That they
that they created.
created.
They taxed the hell out of you, which we'll talk about in a couple minutes.
Yeah.
So tell us about your
All right, so I went to the movies. We went and saw this movie called Sound of Freedom. It's about a government worker who worked on the border. And his job, he was on the border, and he had gotten into a unit that would get pedophiles. He would get these pedophiles. He'd have to break into their computers. It was very hard to get them because if they heard them hit the delete button, and they would get no information. None of the information on these minor children. So the show started off with him doing that, and he had this. And part of getting into the trial is, you had to write your affidavit out, and they had to watch these videos of what these animals were doing to these children. And he had a young
Very
guy.
young children.
Yeah, they had this young guy that was working with him. He just couldn't do it. He's like, listen, I can't do this job. And the guy goes, well, why, we're doing good work here. We've arrested over 200, whatever the number was. And the guy looked at him and says, but how many kids have you saved? And they haven't saved any.
Was 0.
It was 0. There was no kids. They said 0 kids. So this got this guy to thinking, and he made this predator, this animal that he had locked up as a pedophile, be friends with him. Brought him out to dinner. I read your book. The man wrote a book about how to be a pedophile.
He almost threw up.
Yeah.
Because he was trying to be one of,
Yeah.
to get him to befriend him, he was trying to be like him.
So anyway, this guy gives him the information to go where these kids are being trafficked from, and he goes there and he meets a criminal. This guy was a lifetime drug cartel of Colombia, did time in prison. And he said, listen, I did my time in prison. I came out of prison. I got the condo on the ocean. I started doing drugs, selling drugs, hiring prostitutes. He goes, and one day I picked up this young prostitute, 25 years old, brought her back to my place, the whole thing. And then all of a sudden on the way out, our eyes met. He goes, and what I saw was nothing but darkness in her eyes. And we got to talking for some reason, personally. And she said, well, she's not 25 years old. She's 14. And she's been doing this for 10 years. And he realized that the darkness in her eyes were him. And she left, and he went in his room and got his gun and put it to his head and had said a prayer to God about something about letting her get the light back in her life. And he said, he put the gun down, and that wasn't it. And he went out and he started going to these traffickers of children and buying these kids and then bringing them back to the parents and freeing them. And the guy asked him, what did that happen? He goes, well, when I had my gun in my head, he goes, when God gives you an order, you have no choice but to answer. And he asked the guy that was working for the United States government, how did you do this? And he goes, well, because the world's children are not for sale. And they went into it. So this is what this guy was doing. He left his job. He had 10 months to go before he was vested in the government. And set up with another billionaire, got a bunch of children back home, arrested a bunch of pedophiles, had to go testify in front of Congress. So this story was out there, and Disney had it. And Disney would not make a movie out of it. So this Angel Productions, the name of it, Angel Productions. If you see a movie from Angel Productions, you go see it.
Yeah.
So they buy the rights from Disney, and it takes them 5 years. 5 years to get this movie out to the public. And you see on mainstream medium, everybody, you can see it. They are calling this movie a rag. That right-wing, loon, crazy, not, you name it, they're calling it negative.
And they're still trying to keep it from theaters.
Right. So so they got this, it took them 5 years to get it out to the public. I don't know how long it took to make the movie. I don't know how long Disney had the movie. I don't know how long ago this guy testified and walked away from his job to save these children. But during that movie, it stated that human trafficking, children, human trafficking, went up 5,000%. It is a $150 billion industry.
That's what they're calling it.
Not a criminal act. Not a criminal enterprise. Like, when you did crime, it was a criminal enterprise. Right? A $150 billion enterprise, like they were making soda cap bottles of selling children. Drug cartels are getting into it because when they sell the drugs, they sold it and it's done. They get these kids at 4 years old. They can sell them 8-9 times a day for 10 years. It never ends. And I say the time frame because in that time frame, the United States is the number one customer to it.
Number one.
Now the borders are open. So those numbers have got to be 10,000. I mean, it had to go up 5,000 from 5 years ago.
10,000.
And here's the problem that makes your stomach sick is that the United States government is now running this. The United States government is now in the business of human trafficking and child pornography and selling sex slaves because they will not close this border. They will not close this border and save these children. And they will downgrade this movie. Listen, even if this movie was 100% false, if there's an inkling that there's someplace in the world that's selling our children as sex slaves, it should be front page news.
Let me tell you something. These people are lying too. They're saying there's a right wing thing. They know this is happening. Who cares what side of the aisle it is, whether it's right or left? There are kids out there that need our help.
And here's the problem, folks. I went to that movie. Huh?
The problem is nobody cares.
Well, the problem is if you go see this movie, go see this movie. And at the end of the movie, 3 minutes after the movie ends, there's an announcement from the lead actor in here, who I don't think will ever see in another mainstream movie ever. Hollywood will blackball this man to the end of time, because God forbid he shows, because Hollywood's involved in it, big tech is involved in it, and the United States government is running it. The United States government. And here's the thing: they make these movies so people. That's why they made these streaming movies. The movies are in trouble because they don't want, like me and Dennis say it all the time, they don't want the Boy Scouts, youth child leagues. They don't want anybody. Could you imagine? We went there for free, and the place was empty. And then they say, so we bought 4 tickets when we went home, because in that announcement they give you a webpage to pay it forward. Go watch the movie. You can watch it for free for people who can't afford it. If you can afford it, please buy tickets for people that can see, because Angel Production does not care about the money for this movie.
They want the word out.
Yeah. That's how corrupt and a rag of a movie, that these people are giving it away for free so that these children can be saved. But the mainstream press and Hollywood and big tech are saying, don't watch that movie. It's a bunch of hogwash. Poo-poo that. There's nothing to see here, folks.
Well,
and they don't want you to go to the movie theater. Could you imagine having a movie theater filled with people talking about that subject on the way out?
I think movies are going to be a thing of the past soon, because people are getting tired of it. Especially with this Writers Guild strike. It's been going on for 3 months now.
Nobody's even noticed it on strike.
Well, they knew people who watch TV notice it, because everything's a repeat nowadays. And it's been like that for the last 3 months. They don't write their own material, these talk show people. People on podcasts, except for like Sean Hannity and Tucker Carlson, they don't write their own stuff. But small podcasts like this, Jack, we write our own stuff. We do our own research to get.
Yeah,
we love doing research.
There's another guy out there, Explain America. He's good too. Podcast, own guy. He's over there by himself. But I tell you what, I'm not a Hollywood guy, and I hate everything about Hollywood pretty much.
I don't even know them.
Right. I could do trivia and get every single thing wrong about actors and actresses, and I don't really care about their self-bloating and stuff. But the idea of getting rid of movie theaters is just another way of sectionalizing the United States, keeping everybody away. They don't want a movie theater full of people talking about that.
Well, they want you to know what they want you to know.
Right.
And the only way they could do that is by separating you. And that includes churches too, because people talk, and they talk about politics in churches.
Well, I'll tell you the truth, the Catholic Church is in a lot of trouble with this Pope. I think a lot of people that are true lifelong Catholics, like myself, don't even recognize their own church.
Well, I'm going to bring some other future down the line. There's 6 points that he's going through to try to get one world. The Pope.
Yeah.
And,
Really?
Yeah, he is.
And I got all 6 of them. I have to write about it. The UN is involved in it too.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen this movie. But
Yeah.
is it as emotional as they say?
Yes.
Let me tell you something. While you're watching that movie, your stomach will be sick.
And
your heart will grow because of these people that are doing this.
And your tears
will, you just, if you don't shed a tear, if you don't get a sick stomach, and if your heart doesn't grow while you're watching this movie, then maybe you watch SNBC too long.
Yeah.
Because it is a crisis.
Yeah.
And it's a worldwide crisis. And the United States
is
at the top of the peak.
No.
They're at the top, they're the tip of the spear. These animals in Washington, D.C. do not want you to watch this movie because they know they caused this.
Yeah. And let me tell you,
Democrats and Republicans.
Yes.
this government here is trying to get rid of pet farming.
Yeah.
they're lowering the age of consent.
Yep.
And why is that?
Yeah.
Maybe because they're making $150 billion off of these children.
Maybe it's too bad that guy Epstein didn't stay alive and we could have found out the true story about that island.
That's a coincidence that nobody asks about anymore.
You know, how long was that list? How deep in the swamp did his list go?
We'll never know.
No,
We'll never see the names.
no.
And they made sure of that.
Yep.
Yep.
Anyway, that's what I have to say. But when I was watching the movie, I didn't write one thing down today because I knew that's what had to be. I mean, it's my only soapbox I have. Me and Dennis try real hard. It's a small soapbox, but you know what? If everybody on that does this goes and sees it and then tells people about it too, maybe it'll end up. So yeah,
If you
so go
care-
watch the movie and tell everybody you heard about it from here.
If you care about children,
Yeah, well,
get involved.
and I believe every one of our listeners love children.
Yeah. And you know,
Our children are
It's
not for sale.
they're getting tortured. And they're out there. And these poor parents that lost their children,
Mm-hmm.
some of them never see them again.
Most of them don't see them again.
They don't know if they're dead or alive.
Right.
I tell you, and you want to know something, Dennis? They're living a life of torture in silence.
Yep.
Nobody can hear them.
They don't
Right.
think there's any hope for them. They've given up.
Imagine a 4-year-old thinking there's no future. Would rather not have a future at 4 years old.
You're right. It's sad. So that's what I want to do next. I want everyone to listen to this song, and we'll talk about it when it's done.
It's another fact of life, that's it.
It's called Rich Men North of Richmond by Oliver Anthony. Listen to the lyrics. So let me see if I can play this. I had a little trouble last time.
Yeah, this is another guy everybody thinks is a loon.
Yeah.
I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay, so I can sit out here and waste my life away, drag back home and drown my troubles away. It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is living in the new world with an whole soul. With rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but they know that you do. 'Cause your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed to no end. Cause the rich men, cause the rich men. I wish politicians look out for minors, and not just minors on an island somewhere. Lord, we got folks in the street, ain't got nothing to eat, and the obese milking welfare. God, if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, taxes ought not to pay for your bags of fudge round. Young men are putting themselves 6 feet in the ground, 'cause all this damn country does is keep on kicking them down. Lord, it's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is living in the new world. So, Lord knows they all just wanna know what you think, wanna know what, and then I don't think you know, but I know that you do, 'cause your dollar ain't shit. And it's taxed to no end, cause the rich men know the rich men. I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay,
All right. Rich men north of Richmond, he's talking about politicians. They're all rich and they all make our lives miserable. Hope you got to hear all the lyrics, but if you didn't, it's called Rich Men North of Richmond by Oliver Anthony. Go to YouTube when you're done here. It already has 12 million views. Listen to it. Read the words. Download the words. And what people don't know is his politics. Not Republican, not Democrat. He's right down the center of the aisle. This song is perfect for the world we live in today. If that don't let it get you upset, he tells us exactly what we're all feeling.
Open your eyes, people. It's
Right,
happening
open your
right
eyes.
now.
Let's start with the first line. I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay. That's a true statement. You know, the pay we get as Americans is ridiculous. We can't even live today on what we make. Well, what do you get paid at work? Unless you live in New York City where you're making, $67 an hour, you're not really not, because your rent's $3,000 a month. Down here in South Carolina, well, what's the rent? $2,000.
$2,000.
People down here make me $11, $15 an hour. You can't win. You're selling houses down here for $400,000. This is not a rich state.
No. And it's funny, the government's saying, we'll raise your minimum wage. Not enough to make it even the rent.
Right. So next lyric. Living in a new world with an old soul. These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just want to have total control. Another statement well said. Because if you don't see they're trying to control you from cradle to grave, stick with NBC or stick with CNN because you're all freaking brainwashed.
Look, folks, the new world, it's close. They're
Mike just
closer
told
than
you
ever.
Mike just told you the Pope's creating his new world, old new world. Why? Why are these people doing this? They're false gods. All right. We tell you this all the time on the show. Pay attention. Do your own research. Next one, because your dollar ain't shit and it's taxed to no end. Look at all the taxes each and every one of us pay. Federal tax, state tax, gas tax, merchandise tax, sales tax, inflation. When you go out to eat, there's a tax there. Then they want to tax you another 3% because the bank charges them 3.5% or something like that. That goes on your credit card. How are we supposed to live with all this bullshit going on in the world?
You're not supposed to.
Right. You're not. They
They
want
don't take care of you.
Right. They want to take care of you for measly. They want to put you in like government housing and tell you what kind of food you can eat, what you can drink.
They're already trying to do that.
Right. So young men are putting themselves 6 feet in the ground because all this damn country does is keep kicking them on down. You know what? If you don't feel you're kicked every day from these politicians, again, you're brainwashed. Or you're too afraid to stand up and get involved with something. I'm sure the American majority feels the same way we do. These lame duck politicians screw us every single day. Wish I could just wake up and not be true. Most of us are living in a nightmare. Pray that when we wake up, none of it's real. But when we do, we're still in a nightmare. This song that was just sung by Anthony Oliver hits the nail directly on the head with the way people are feeling. He just had the guts to put it in a song and sing it.
Maybe people's eyes will start opening and see what's going on.
Right. People need to open their eyes. Download the song. Download Sounds of Freedom. Go see it.
Go see it.
So
It could possibly be free. If you can't afford it, they will pay for your ticket.
Why does this government let fifth generation welfare?
Yeah, I mean, like that song says, if you're 5'3" and weigh 300 pounds,
We shouldn't be
why are we paying for your food?
your fudge.
Yeah. So the only thing I got to say, this show today really bothers me. Because what Dennis and I are talking about today is the world we live in, not in the world we want to live in.
No.
And more people have to start doing stuff like that. Let me tell you something. The people that know better are saying that Angel production, that leading actor, that guy that used to work for the bureaucracy that saved those children, the guy that sang that song, Try That in a Small Town, that this guy that just wrote this song, Rich Men North of Richmond, they're saying that they're the wrong folks. Well, I tell you what, this guy,
That's what exactly.
I'm going on that line all day. Give me that line, I'll wait on that. I will stand with those guys all day and all night.
With that song, I feel like that way every day. Every single day I get up.
It is.
It's just
And
it's just unbelievable the way you put the lyrics together.
And you know what, guys? You need any newscaster to tell you this. You're just living it. It's happening, folks. You know it.
Yeah.
It's your life. And Jack was bringing up the younger people don't even see it. They don't think there's anything wrong. What's wrong with government housing? What's wrong with a little money from the government? Right now, everything's fine.
You know, look at our book for politicians gaslighting Americans. My goal is to have politicians read that and read it on the Senate floor or the congressional floor in the lower house and say, this is what people are saying about us. We need to change because they're coming after us. There's not enough of us right now, but they're coming after us. We need to change. We need term limits. We need to stop all the bullshit we've been doing. We're going to lose our jobs.
You know what?
We should lose our jobs today.
Yeah.
Hey, listen,
I don't think it will work.
I'm sorry to say this.
I think they're going to be out.
I am sorry to say this, but what Dennis said last week is 100% right. Half of Washington, D.C. should be in jail, and the other half should be impeached for allowing it to happen.
Yep.
Washington, D.C. should be empty right now.
Yeah, there is no more chance now.
There is no great Americans.
Yeah.
in
There's no more
Washington,
forgiveness
D.C.
for these people.
They got to be out.
We're beyond the forgiveness mode. It just, you can't do it anymore.
We have a few politicians in those halls, in both of them. Not all of them.
That's Democrat and Republicans.
All of them.
Right.
Not all of them. But there's a small handful of veterans that are terrific Americans in Washington, D.C.
Very small percentage.
The rest of them are not
No.
great Americans. They do.
Downright dirty.
We are a thorn in their thigh. Every time we see someone with a $5,000 dress or a $5,000 suit and we say something about it,
You know, like my
who are
suit.
you?
You know, like
Yeah,
my
look at this
suit.
suit. That's a suit right
There you
there.
go.
Everyone should wear this.
Yeah, red, white, and blue.
We the
We are
people are
pissed.
pissed off.
Yep.
If you're not pissed off, there's something wrong
I
with
think
you.
that should be the name of our show. Red, white, and blue. We're pissed off.
Red, white, and blue, we the people are pissed off. That sounds good. I like that.
I think you can even make a song out of that.
You know, we could.
Hold on a minute. Let me get. I don't know if I can twang like that guy.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, he was.
Good. So since that song, Richmond, north of Richmond, talking about money and taxes, did you know that 1/3 of citizens worry about money problems? It keeps them up at night.
I would think there'd be more.
According to a new study by Northwestern Mutual, more than 36% of Americans say uncertainty about finances keeps them up at night. Millennials are the most anxious about money. 53% saying that financial uncertainty keeps them up at night, compared to 19% of baby boomers and 44% of Gen Zers. Northwestern's Mutual study is the latest in a line of related investigations producing similar results. A March poll conducted by the Associated Press Nork Center for Public Affairs Research indicated that about half of U.S. adults in households earning less than $60,000 annually, and about 4 in 10 of those in households earning $60,000 to $100,000, so they're very stressed by their personal finances. That's per CBS.
Mhm.
Again, just look up the article. One third of Americans say money problems keep them up at night. Do boomers, millennials, or Gen Zers suffer more financial anxiety? That's by Nicole Spector. It's not a big article. It's not long. It might take you 3 minutes to read it.
3 minutes.
I All right, 5.
Maybe 3.5.
I'm slow. Richmond, north of Richmond, tells us about the reality that people are feeling in their daily lives. The struggle is real, people. The purchasing power for the American people suck. Families are trying to pay their bills and feed their kids. And when they can't do that, they have to make a decision whether to pay their bills or feed their kids. I say screw the bills and I feed my kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the funny part is the government gives billions of dollars to help illegal immigrants, sanctuary cities, say they can't even handle the crisis right now. But they give them billions of dollars to stay in this country illegally. You know, what do they give the American citizens? What do they give us? The middle finger and the shaft. Prices, higher gas prices, inflation, high interest. When do we get a break? With this government, it's never. But if you see it, please tell me. Tell me if we get a break. It should not be hard living in the most prosperous country in the world. This is America, folks. These politicians make it too damn hard for our project. I say great for Oliver, Anthony, for telling the people. We just hope you, people listening, share this out with other people. Start fighting for yourself and your families. Get involved. Get off your asses. Get away from that damn couch and away from that idiot box. Get out in the community and make it better for everyone. Anything, guys?
Yeah, I got my last statement here today. It's so funny because me and Dennis didn't talk about this show at all together, what we were going to do this week. Every now and then we'll talk to each other in the morning, and towards the end of the week, we'll be like, what are you doing a show on? You know, they do that. We were talking about the book. So his first thing with this guy, this singer, I had the movie. Then he's talking about this, and I had this interest rate thing I wanted to go through. So it goes right into book. So like Dennis was saying, these sanctuary cities. One, these illegal immigrants, they're not migrants, they're not immigrants, they are illegal aliens coming in here illegally are going to cost one city, one sanctuary city, $12 billion, New York City. Good old Eric
$12
Adams.
billion.
$12 billion.
And the governor wants to give them 10 cities.
Yeah.
Yes. On our parks.
Yeah. And tennis courts and soccer fields and football and baseball
Their
fields.
taxpayers are paying for
Right.
for their children. So once again, the American citizen
Get
comes
screwed.
in second.
Yeah, I don't know why they're not putting a big tent at Gracie Mansion in the city and a big tent at Hochul's mansion upstate.
All their little mansions.
Yeah.
Put it right there, right in their yard.
The other thing that Dennis was talking about with these finances. So interest rates on a house have hit a 21-year high of 7.09%. 7.09%. I think the cost of a house is $800 a month more than it was 3 years ago.
Yeah, 3 years ago.
3 years ago, it was I forget what it was, but anyway, it's $800. And interest rates are not done going up. Interest rates are still going up. So they say the average person age of a first-time buyer now, a first-time home buyer, is 36 years old. That's 14 years after they were supposed to get out of college. So for 14 years, these kids can't live the American dream and get their own house at an interest rate of 21 years high. And we're not there yet, folks. Interest rate hasn't stopped yet. And they have to go out. Now, since nobody will sell your house, why would I sell my house if my interest rate's between 2 and 4%? I'm not selling it and going over here. So no houses are available. So now it has pushed down to renters. And rent, I think this number is completely wrong. But they're saying that the average rent in the United States is $2,000 a month. I tell you what, you're talking about Illinois, Jersey, Connecticut, Massachusetts, California, Washington, Oregon, New Mexico. I mean, all parts of New York. I'm thinking it's got to be way over. I think $2,000 is a very, very, very.
Even here, it's over $2,000.
Here, it's $2,000.
New York City is 3 and 6.
So this show today, I hope was
A wake-up call.
a wake-up call, maybe a little inspirational, maybe a little call for you guys. Listen, we don't want everybody to change the world. It's very hard to do, change the world.
By yourself.
But if you keep going and change one person's mind at a time,
Before we know it, you have an army.
yeah, guess what? The world, then
Then the
you
new
then you
world
change
is
the
here.
world.
And when we can change the world to the way that we like it,
Yeah,
not the way these politicians
to
want
bring it back to the way it's supposed to be. Bring America back to America.
By the Constitution.
you know. So Jack and I do the best we can with the tools we have. If we say something to offend you, get over it.
Yeah.
Don't care.
Right.
We're trying to show you how corrupt and dishonest this government is. And at times that may piss you off. Again, don't care. You know, we want you to get involved in your community. Get involved with us. Get your family and friends involved. This is way too important than anything we've ever faced. Standing together united is the only way to win. Mike, you have any prayers for us?
Yeah. I just seen a report that between the two, Trump and Biden, it's a 50%, 50-50 on the voting if it was to happen today. And I feel, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't have either one of them. Maybe we should get somebody new. Start looking at some of these new candidates because,
We can't do any worse.
I mean, exactly. Can it get any worse than it is now? And if
Can't.
some people are saying that times are good now, I don't know where they're getting that from. They're lying. It is not.
You're right. It's not.
And the average American that says that is just brainwashed.
Yeah. Or lying to themselves.
So
Yeah.
can you lead some prayer?
Can you do that, Mike?
Shut up.
Sure.
You're the best.
Okay. We're going to be doing a verse from the King James Bible, 1 Peter, chapter 1, verse 21. Who by him do believe God, that raised him up from the dead and gave him glory, that your faith and hope might be in God. Lord, please help these poor people in Maui. Please help these poor people, these poor families that lost loved ones. Please be with them and help them. Let's pray. Our faith can't be in things or even other people. They fail us, Lord, as we quickly realize when we put our hope in anything that is not eternal or worthy to bear our hope. When we first gave our life to Jesus, we understood that we can trust you, not only for our eternal life, but also for every earthly thing. Today we put our hope in you for situations we are in, for the hurts, the afflictions, and for each second of our future. We trust in you, Father, that you will raise us up just as you did Jesus. Please, Lord, bless and protect this new party, this podcast, and all that work on it, and all that listen to it. Lord, please have mercy on this nation and have our leaders do your will. Please, Lord, get rid of the old leaders and bring in us new leaders. We pray this in Jesus' precious name. Amen.
Amen. Oh, before we go, Madeline, I talked to them about the bathroom issue, and
It's duct tape.
Duct tape closed.
so good luck getting it off.
And just make sure you wipe it down before you sit.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Have a great weekend. We'll see you here next Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Knowledge is power. Do your own research. Find out your own answers. See you later, Patriots.
That's very good.
Hold on, don't move yet. I'm not done.
I'm sorry.